Continue and start slideshow. Oh, actually, I don't want to start slideshow until I move my Q&A over here. Start slideshow. And you should be able to hear music in just, oh, hold on one second. I didn't share my screen. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to have you this evening here with us for our next installment of the Jaguar Pointer Workshop. You have noticed that your microphone, your chat, and your video features have been disabled and that you are unable to turn them on. This is a webinar setting, but we do have the Q&A open for you, and we will be manning the Q&A as we are projecting here tonight. And we will also have stopping points tonight for that Q&A where we will be able to say your questions out loud, read them aloud, and then answer them aloud. So we are very excited. We know that it is a very busy time of year for everyone, so we appreciate you taking some time out of your very busy schedules to be here with us and attend our workshop. I know everybody's looking for those very coveted attendance volunteer hours. And I promise you that those will be discussed at the very end of the workshop. So you don't even have to worry about typing anything about those while you are here this evening in the JPW. We'll take care of all of that for you at the end. This session is being recorded. So those of you that are still kind of filing in, this is being recorded. It will be posted to the pinecharter.net website under the Jaguar Pointer Workshop section. So we are very excited to have you. Please put in your questions in that Q&A. We'll talk about attendance and feedback, and you will have hours to get for your attendance. On our next slide, we are introducing you tonight to our next of our series, our next installment for our Jaguar Pointer workshops is College Prep, helping students navigate the path to higher education. Our presenter this evening is the director of our school counseling at our and assessment specialist, at our Academic Village High School. That's Pearl Moses, and with her, she has Idania Perez, who will also be helping us in the background during our Q&A questions, and she is the AVH High School Brace Advisor and Dual Enrollment Coordinator, as well as the Life Skills and Wellness Coordinator, and finally, the Edgenuity Coordinator. So she's got a lot under her belt there. And I am Erica Kotzer. I'm with the Office of Innovative Learning. Those of you that have been with us before, you recognize me, hopefully. Those of you that are first joining us for the first time, we welcome you, and we're so excited that you are all here joining us this evening. We also have some special guests with us this evening. We have District 3, City of Pembroke Pines Commissioner, Miss Commissioner Maria Rodriguez is here this evening, as well as the Director of the Office of Innovative Learning, Giselle Rodriguez, other Office of Innovative Learning team members, Miss Veronica Lesmis, as well as the Director of the ESE Department, Miss Jennifer Roca, and we have Mr. Jonathan Bonilla, the Assistant Superintendent and Assistant City Manager for our schools. So we welcome everybody being here this evening. We appreciate everybody's time that they are devoting to our schools and that they are here this evening with us. So without any further ado, because I don't want to waste everyone's time and I want to get you off on the best start ever for your students, I am going to pass it on over to Miss Pearl Moses from our high school. And actually, before we do that, I forgot to mention a few short things. If you have any personal questions regarding your student in this process, please take those personal questions and direct those at your school-based people, because we want to make sure that we are talking in general terms in a sense, so that way we can keep your personal information obviously personal. So anything like that, please address that to your school, but anything that you think would be beneficial to you here and that others would also benefit, go ahead and put that question in the Q&A and we'll answer there or during our stopping points. I promise you, you don't need to put a pen or pencil in your hand. You don't have to be typing or writing on your iPad. Just sit back, relax, watch, and enjoy, because this is being recorded and we will post it for you. So without any further ado, sorry, Miss Moses, I gave you a little false start there. We are going to get started with our presentation for this evening.
All right, thank you so much, Erica. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We're so glad that you could join us tonight. Again, my name is Pearl Moses. I am the Director of School Counseling at the high school. And my role is specifically overseeing the school counseling department, which is 4 counselors. And then we have our college advisor. We also call it Brace Advising. And you will hear from Ms. Perez tonight, who is also here. So whether you're a student that has joined us tonight and you're thinking about college, or a parent looking to support your child through the process, you have come to the right place. Tonight, we'll walk you through the key steps of preparing for college, from building a strong academic foundation that starts in the classroom to exploring financial aid, applications, and everything in between. We know that the road to anything post-secondary can sometimes feel overwhelming, but you don't have to walk it alone, and that's why we're here. This webinar is designed to empower both students and families with the tools, the timelines, and the resources needed to make informed decisions and to confidently move forward. So thank you for being here and for taking an active role in this journey. So let's get started. So here are some expected outcomes that you can expect to gain from what we're going to share with you tonight. You're going to understand the graduation requirements. You're going to understand the milestones and the timelines that's involved in all of this planning. You're going to become familiar with the tools and the resources. There's so much out there, websites, Google is your friend, right? We say. You're going to receive a great overview of financial planning. College is expensive, so we'll go over that. And most importantly, we want to make sure that you feel empowered to support your child through this process. So the more that you know, the more that you can do for them because it is a collective effort and it really does take a village. We're not going to lie to you, it is a very involved process, but with the right guidance and everyone on the same page and everyone following that guidance, it does become seamless and it works. And then, of course, we want to make sure that you understand everything that as a school and school personnel, we offer to you and your child through this entire process. So as we move on, so this slide is actually taken from a presentation that we do in the classroom with your children, with the students. And so it's a comical representation of what every year looks like. But on a more serious note, freshman year is really about building a strong foundation, their study habits, starting to think about their GPA and looking at the GPA, and anything extracurricular, sports, things like that. Sophomore year involves exploring interests and beginning to think about post-secondary goals. Junior year is a big one. I think a lot of us have assumed that senior year is really the most important year, but it's really junior year because by senior year, we're kind of already wrapping things up. So this is a big one with standardized testing, dual enrollment, college research, building a resume. It's a really, really crucial year. And then senior year is focused on college applications, scholarships, applying to those, and making final decisions. So as we head on over, we are looking at the graduation requirements. So this is pretty much the minimum that a student needs to graduate high school. We will discuss everything else that goes along with having to prepare for post-secondary options. So this is just the minimum that a student needs: 2.0 GPA, 24 credits, 40 service hours. At Pines Charter High School, there is no room for error. We give students 6 classes a year. We usually have their 4 English, their 4 math classes, the 3 credits of science. So every year your child is going to take English, math, science, social studies with their electives. And then we sprinkle in all of the other requirements. So as you can see here, foreign language is not a requirement for graduation. It is for a 4-year university and for the Bright Future Scholarship. And then we also have the testing requirements. So in addition to the credits in all of the courses, there are the testing requirements that are aligned here. The only ones that are a pass-fail are the 10th grade fast reading exam. Then we have the algebra EOC, which is also pass-fail. And then all of the other EOCs are 30% of the grade. So the lowest grade that a student can get is a D, but that grade is calculated to make their final course grade in that particular course. All right, so GPAs. This is a big one. It's very confusing a lot of times, but it's important to understand that not all GPAs are calculated the same way, and different organizations look at different ones. So let's go ahead and break them down. The unweighted GPA, this is your standard GPA calculated without any bonus points. So if you look at every grade on a scale, an A is 4 points, always. But when you are adding in the higher level classes, the college level classes, those are on a different scale and they give more points. So that is where the weighted GPA comes. This one does include bonus points that they receive from honors classes. So if a standard course, an A is 4 points, in an honors class, it's going to be 5 points. And in AP, ACE, or dual enrollment, it's going to be 6 points. So the weighted is, it pretty much recognizes the level of difficulty of the course, and it's used for class rank, it's used for scholarships. This is the one that colleges are really going to look at. So the core GPA is just that. It's taken from the core classes, and those are English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language. This one is used for the Bright Futures. It's used for the Florida State University system, which we're going to go through a little bit later, and for the NCAA. And when I said that some organizations calculate their GPAs differently, this is a perfect example of that. When students go into their Bright Futures account, which they will get help with that senior year, they will notice that their GPA looks different on Bright Futures than it does on their academic record, because Bright Future is only pulling it from certain classes, from those core classes. So all of this is very important to recognize and to look at, and to just be informed so that you're aware of all of the different GPAs and how they affect eligibility for different things. So as we move on, this would be a sample schedule that we have at the high school. Like I said before, you've got your 4 core classes and you've got your electives. 2 of those electives could be taken up with a foreign language, or it could be something like art. If you have a child who wants to be in the ACE program, then you've got your set of ACE classes, and so you make sure that they're fulfilling all of the classes that they need for the ACE program. So this is what a sample schedule would look like. And every year is different. Every child is different. They don't always look the same. Everyone is on their own path, but this is just to give you an idea of what the students are taking year to year. Okay, so as we go into the different college level preparatory type programs that we have at the high school, ACE, and we get this question all the time. ACE, what is the difference with ACE AP, dual enrollment? So I'm going to tell you right now. The ACE program is developed by the University of Cambridge in England, and it's one of the world's leading academic institutions. It's designed to challenge students academically and prepare them for success in college and beyond. And it's recognized by universities worldwide, including all of the Florida public colleges and universities. This is a program for students who are ready to push themselves, to grow academically, and to stand out on college applications. Its emphasis is on writing and critical thinking. We're thinking deeply. We are discussing things in class. We are communicating clearly in writing and discussion. Most of the ACE classes, most of the ACE exams, rather, have writing exams. So they're given a little booklet and with a question, and they're writing out their answer. So it's very, very involved in critical thinking and the analysis part. So here we have that opportunity to earn the Cambridge ACE diploma. So students who take a combination of ACE courses and pass the exams can earn the ACE diploma. And this diploma is recognized as a strong academic achievement and can also qualify students for scholarships, including the Bright Futures scholarship, with waiving some of the requirements, including the minimum test scores. So that is why it is it's pretty ideal for students that are aiming for that. It's a mark of academic excellence, and it can help open doors to scholarships in colleges. The courses and the exams are equivalent to first-year college courses, and they're on college level. So these are college classes, and they can also earn college credit. So most schools, many schools in Florida, will offer college credit towards a first year college entrance for passing those ACE exams. And so moving along, we will also look at AP. So they don't have to be in isolation. They can be interchangeable. So will a student who is on the ACE diploma track be able to plug in some AP classes in there if they wanted to? Absolutely. If a student does not want to be on the ACE track, can they do ACE classes as well as AP, but not necessarily go through getting the ACE diploma? Absolutely. It's just a personal preference. Either way, these classes are going to, like, we are going to go back to the GPA slide, they're going to boost the GPA. And that is one of the important things that colleges are looking for on a student's academic record is the level of rigor and how they've performed in these classes, and that's going to be reflected in their overall GPA. So AP classes are offered through the College Board. They are designed to challenge students academically as well and prepare them for the demands of coursework. This one focuses more on memorization and applying large amounts of information. So they cover a wide range of content at a fast pace. Students will need to retain detailed knowledge and learn to apply it through critical thinking and analysis. It requires strong study habits, note-taking skills, and time management. And these courses and the exams attached to it, it's pretty much the same thing. There's an AP exam at the end of all of these courses, and they're equivalent to first year college courses. And also there is an opportunity to earn college credit through a passing score on an AP exam at the end of the year, typically between a 3 or higher out of a 5. So those are the main differences between the two. And now we have another opportunity that we offer our students, and this one is dual enrollment. And this is basically earning college credit while still in high school. They can do this through Broward College, taking courses at Broward College, and then we offer 2 courses at our site. On campus, we have one of our teachers who teaches 2 dual enrollment classes. The curriculum comes through Broward College, and this person is also a Broward College professor, but these classes are held on school campus during school hours. So here, we're not worried about an end of year test to get college credit. Once you're in the course, you take the course, you pass the course, you automatically get college credit, which sounds amazing. And it is a wonderful opportunity, but we also have to think about the fact that when students start to take these classes, they are starting their college record, their college transcript. So if they don't do well, this is a grade that is going to be on their college transcript. And so we want to make sure that students understand this and that they're prepared to take on this responsibility. So these are the requirements. They must have an unweighted GPA of a 3.0. They have to have the minimum test scores through not all of these. It's either the AccuPlacer or the SAT or anything else that BC requires. And this selection is approved by Ms. Perez. So Ms. Perez is our BC dual enrollment coordinator, and so she sends out all of the information regarding dual enrollment. There is a window to apply, there's a window to register for classes, and then students will start the semester, and then we do it all over again. So just like college, there is a fall semester, spring, and summer, and all of that communication comes out by Ms. Perez. Okay, so now we're going to move on to navigating high school every single year. And like I mentioned before, every year is so different, but it's very important. And I know that a lot of you and a lot of your children have started to prepare even in middle school. So it's something that is very important to stay focused on. If you have a child who is very, very focused, and they are starting with college level classes in middle school, then they've gotten a head start, and that's amazing. So here we're going to start with ninth grade. And so this is a big transition year. High school is very, very different than middle school. It's very different in the sense that it's it's new, it's exciting, but it can also be very stressful. The classes are very difficult. It's a different schedule. We start at 7 a.m., which can be a little bit of a shock to our late starting middle schoolers. So it's just a transition year. And so we always recommend that they take the most challenging but realistic course load. You want to have a balance. So whatever it is that they're very good at, if they love math, if they're going through a STEM a type of path, then focus on that and maybe lighten the load on some other classes. So whatever it is that you decide together as a family, but just make sure that there's balance, especially if they're an athlete, especially if they're involved in a lot of extracurriculars. You don't want them to be overwhelmed the first year and they're already coming in and they're just trying to get their footing as a first year high school student. So getting involved is important. Keeping a record, you have no idea how fast 4 years goes. And we think that we're going to remember to keep that certificate for winning that robotics championship. And then we go to look for it, or we forget that it even happened. So I'm just making sure that you're keeping a record, because you would be surprised at when you're going through those college applications or scholarship applications and you have an entire folder of everything that you've done. It just gives you so much good material to beef up those applications. So keep everything, start a folder now, scan them, whatever it is that you have to do, but you will forget. You think that you're going to remember and you don't. So volunteering, being a part of the community, and starting to think about already the future. Okay, if I'm doing well in these classes now, then what is my 10th grade going to look like? Starting to really plan ahead. And then summer is a great time for every grade to continue to volunteer, to do things that are within your interests. So if you have an artist, then maybe summer programs involving art. So you don't just want to do things that are just all over the place. You want to show colleges that you have really honed and focused in on your talents and your strengths and your skills, and that now you are doing everything that you can to really remain focused in that. So as we move on to 10th grade, this is a great year. Oh, thank you. This is the year where they take the PSAT, and it's free. So if you see an email from me about the PSAT and you have a 10th grader, don't think that you have to register for them. Don't think that you have to pay. It is free. Every single 10th grader takes the PSAT in 10th grade for free. And this is great because it's the perfect time for them to practice for the SAT, which they're going to start taking junior year. So that's what the PSAT means, practice SAT. And once they receive their scores, the College Board provides a preparatory online program using the scores that they received. So if they need a little more help with their math, then through Khan Academy, they can put together an online prep program where your child can go into their College Board account and work on those skills. So again, keeping up with volunteering, extracurriculars, being a leader, maybe going for leadership positions in the clubs that they have chosen to be in, and also making sure that they're making the most out of their summers. Okay, so junior year, like I said before, this is a big one. And I want to keep emphasizing that because you don't have until senior year. College applications, early decision are due November of senior year. So you have to be ready by the end of junior year. You've got to have it all ready so that after summertime, you can really just focus on the applications and where you're going to send it to and that process. So junior year, know the dates of the SAT, the ACT. We post everything on our website. There's a registration period, and then there's the actual test. So it's very important to know these dates because you have to pay for them. We are an SAT test site. These tests are given on a Saturday, and the dates vary year to year. The ACT we do not give on campus, but there are schools in the area who are test sites for the ACT. I always recommend to take both. All colleges take both, so why wouldn't you take both? You can end up doing better on one than the other, and that's the one that gets you into the school of your choice. So I know that I think our students are usually more inclined to do the SAT, but we recommend take both. Again, stay involved, seek those leadership positions. I would also seek out my favorite teachers, the teachers who I know love me, start putting a bug in their ear about letters of recommendation. It's very important that those things are done early because you don't want to tell a teacher that you need a letter and you want it to be a good letter and you tell them with 2 days in advance. So you definitely don't want to do that. So all of these things you can start doing junior year, maybe even just thinking about the teachers or the staff members at school who can write you a letter and start making that list. You can start to plan your college visits and attend admissions information. And you can even start with the essays. So all of those things are very important things to start doing in 11th grade. And by the time we get to 12th grade, now it's just like a wrap up. So you're checking the requirements and the deadlines for the colleges of your choice. You are looking to see where you're going to apply as, early action, early admission, is it rolling? And we're gonna get to all those terms. I know I'm probably speaking another language to you right now. So you're gonna update your resume, finalize your college essays, finalize getting those letters of recommendation, taking the SAT, applying for financial aid, and just kind of wrapping up the process and finally making a choice, getting those acceptance letters, and then graduating from high school and celebrating with excitement. All right, so we are at a Q&A. All right.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Ms. Perez has been diligently typing in the background, but I'm still going to read out some of those for those people who need to hear, even though these have been answered. I'm just going to go back so we can answer to the masses. One of the first ones, why would a student select AP over ACE or vice versa?
So they would select ACE, let's just say, for example, if they want to go towards the ACE diploma track. So if they want to get an ACE diploma, then they're going to choose ACE classes over AP. Like I said before, they are interchangeable. So it really boils down to the learning style of the child. And like I said, if they're not a good writer, then ACE may be challenging because it's a lot of writing, it's a lot of critical thinking. If they're a student type that they can read something, retain it, and then put it back out there and they ace it, then maybe AP is more their style. So it really just depends. And so if you are a parent of a child who is trying to figure out what they prefer, what they like, then maybe take a combination for starters. Take an AP this and an ACE this, and then see where they land and what they prefer and what they like. So in all honesty, it's really a personal preference. If you're going for the ACE diploma, you have to do ACE. You can't get the diploma without the ACE classes. But if that's not your journey, then it really just depends on where you're going to succeed the most.
Perfect. Moving to letters of recommendation, are they required for every college?
No, most Florida schools do not require letters of recommendation. We will get into that, but it really depends on the school. And once they get into the Common App process, they will be able to see what schools require it. Things change year to year, and sometimes a student says, you know what, I don't want to leave the state. I want to go to UCF. Um, and then for some reason, maybe they go on a college tour and they find another school that they really like through the exploration process, and now that school requires a letter of recommendation. So what I would say is, just to be on the safe side, get them anyway. Even if you don't ever use them, get them, because you never know where you will go in the process and what may pop up.
Perfect. Are AP classes available for freshmen or just sophomores?
Just sophomores.
Perfect. Can a freshman start with honors classes and then choose to switch to ACE path in 10th grade and still be eligible for the ACE diploma?
Yes, we prefer for them to start ninth grade year, because that way they have 3 years to complete all of the classes. And but then by senior year, they can get their diploma and they know their status with getting diploma, because there's a lot of exams that need to be passed. And so if they don't pass, then they need a retake. So it's a lot writing on the ACE diploma. So we prefer for them to start early, but absolutely they can start in the 10th grade.
Okay, perfect. And just to confirm about college credits, are they for both ACE and AP?
Yes.
Perfect. Sorry, I'm scrolling. I'm trying to go quick. If we don't get to your question, we have someone also typing in the background, everybody. Um, is there another PSAT available in 10th grade if it wasn't taken at the original one? And is it at no cost, or is it this the one time only?
It has to be within the window, so whatever the test window is that the College Board provides. And now that all of these tests are digital, before it used to be paper, so the windows were much smaller. Now that it's digital, we have um, a month, a little bit over a month now. So if it just so happens that your student is absent or something comes up on the test day, then we can absolutely retest as long as it's in that window. But like I said, we have a much larger amount of time.
Perfect. Can you confirm that are ACE classes also applicable as an alternative in Bright Futures?
I don't think I understand the question.
I guess they're asking, would they apply to Bright Futures? And are there requirements needed to complete the scholarship after having taken the courses? So I guess they're asking, is their grades applicable to Bright Futures?
Yes, so getting the ACE diploma is going to cover all of the requirements for Bright Futures and waive some things. So it's going to waive the test scores. It's going to waive some of the requirements, not all, but getting the ACE diploma really encompasses pretty much all of the requirements that you need for the Bright Futures.
Perfect. And do our school counselors map out a yearly agenda for each student based on the field that they want to pursue in college?
So it's not necessarily a map or a roadmap for every student. Um, if your child and you require that, then absolutely. If your child knows exactly where they want to go to school sophomore year, and they have looked up the requirement and they know exactly what they need to do to be able to up their chances of getting into that school, then absolutely their school counselor can help them in that journey. Every counselor meets with every single student in the springtime to go over their course selection card and their course request. So every student gets an opportunity to meet with their counselor at the towards the end of the year when we're doing course selections, which we start around February. So those would be the times to have those conversations and to make sure that they are selecting and getting those courses that they want on their course requests.
Fantastic. Thank you for that Q&A time, ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Perez is in the background answering a lot of your questions typed, but we do want to move on with our presentation. So we are going to pause our live Q&A section, but you can still, of course, enter those questions in the Q&A, and we have everyone in the background that are assisting those as well. So thank you, everybody. We're going to continue on at this time with the presentation.
All right, thank you everyone for those questions, and let's continue. So now we're getting into the college application process. And there's a couple of platforms that are pretty much universally used when we are looking at college applications. One of them is the Common Application, or also known as the Common App. And that is one platform that allows students to apply to multiple colleges at once. The only requirement is that the college has subscribed to be on the Common App. So not every school is on there. A lot are. So it's a great platform to use to apply to many at one time, and you have them all on a platform at one time. So it's seamless. It takes the guesswork out of it. It's very user friendly. It tells you exactly what you're missing at every step of the way for every school. It's not a it's not an umbrella for every school. So that's one thing that when I was going through the process with my own son, I thought, oh, we're just filling out one application and then it's just going to go to every single school and we're done. No. Every school is different, even on the Common App, but it's easy in the way that it's all in one place and it tells you exactly what each school is missing. If you have 4 different schools on there and only 2 require the letter of recommendation, it's going to tell you letter of recommendation is needed for these schools, for these, no. So you know exactly what you're sending, what you need to send with the deadline, the dates and everything. So it is a very user-friendly site. But again, not all schools are on there. So this is why it's so important to start this process early, because it's a lot of research. So if you are looking at several different schools and one of them or several of them are not on the Common App, now you have to go to that school's website and apply from there. So that is also a option to do. A lot of times it's a great option because directly on their website, the colleges will either have a fee waive for you to apply. All of this costs money. So every application, there is a fee for it, but going to a specific school site will show you if you apply by November 30th, you won't have to pay an application fee. So it just depends on where you're applying to. So applications usually open the summer before senior year, with most activity happening August through November. And the priority deadline for many colleges is November 1st. Meeting these deadlines gives you a better shot at scholarships, financial aid, and even admission. So we stress, do not wait until the last minute. Transcripts, you definitely need an official high school transcript as part of your application. And again, we are stressing that junior year is such an important year because with applications being due so early, senior year, the first time that a college is looking at you, looking at the academic record, is really only 9 through 11. So then they will ask for a mid-year report and see what the child has done the first year of senior year, or the first half of senior year. But in reality, the first glance is 9, 10, and 11. Senior year hasn't even factored in yet. They'll see the classes, they'll see the schedule, but there'll be no grades yet for senior year. So that's why it's so important to start early and to make sure that those 3 years look the best. And then we have the SAT, or all the testing score reports. There's self-reporting or sending the reports through the College Board. So when you take an SAT, everything goes to your College Board account. The score reports are there, and through that account, your child can tell it, I want my scores to go to these schools, and it will be sent directly to those schools. That is the same thing with the ACT, and then we also have a new test called the CLT that a lot of colleges are starting to take as well. Again, these are things that need to be researched. Every school is different, and so that's why it's so important to start to get that list of colleges together early. And we will share with you a platform that is great to help you in that exploration process. I'm sure you've already heard of it. If you have middle schoolers, they're already starting to use it in our middle schools. That's Zello. We'll get into that in a minute. But that is a great resource to start that exploration process. And I always look at it as, if you are willing to go anywhere, then the whole country is your oyster, right? You don't have parameters. But if you are in a situation to where it has to be local, then your radius has gotten smaller. If you want to stay in the state of Florida because you have Florida prepaid, and you want to make sure that that is used and you have that set aside, then you're looking at Florida. If you have family in Massachusetts and you want them to go to Massachusetts, then so it start with location or whatever parameter works for you. And that way you can kind of narrow your selection and look and explore based on those parameters that work for you and your family. Then we have the letters of recommendation. So again, not all colleges ask for it, but you will know because you're going to start early and you're going to create a Common App account very early. Just because you're not actively applying to college doesn't mean that you can't create an account. So you can go in and start looking at schools, and it's going to show you exactly what they're going to need. And that way you can just request your letters early and start thinking about that process. And then we have the essay. In senior year, in their English classes, the teachers do work with students. It's part of the curriculum in an English 4 or a senior English class. So if you want to start writing it the summer before senior year, and then use your English class and your English teacher to edit it and to revise it and to make it perfect, absolutely do that. And always verify requirements. Like I said it before, every college is different. Their deadlines, the documents that they need, their score policies, everything varies. So it's very important to verify what each college needs. And go on their website. Every school has a website. I always tell students that, they're on their phones looking up, I don't know what, they might as well use it for actual information that's going to help them. So if they found out about a school that sounds interesting, go on their website, look up the requirements, look to see what it is that they are asking for. A lot of times they will even post on there the percentage of first year applicants that applied and how many got in. So, okay, do I have a chance? So everything is online, it's at your fingertips. So I would say it's very important to stay organized, using a checklist, using a spreadsheet, whatever method works for you, but keeping everything organized is going to help as well through the college application process. Okay, so here we have several post-secondary options. So we have talked a lot about college so far in this presentation. But we do recognize that college, four-year school, is not the only option for our students. We have a lot of different learners with different interests, and four-year college may not be something that a certain child wants to do, especially given what they want to do as a career. So we have the credential or certificate trade schools. We call it career technical education now. And we have Sheridan Tech, which is one of our Broward County technical colleges, as well as Broward College offers a lot of career technical education. Some of these are like automotive, HVAC, cosmetology. You don't need a college degree for this. And an example of how great these career technical programs are, it's not just one thing that you can do, right? I have a great example of a student who graduated 2 years ago. She was great with hair. She loved doing hair. So she went to Sheridan Tech. She got her cosmetology certificate, and she works as a cosmetologist. She does hair, and she's also now going to Broward College, and she's in the nursing program. So as she's putting herself through school, she's doing cosmetology on the side, and she's got two careers. So just because a student goes through a career tech program doesn't mean that they cannot also go to a university or a college. And you could do both, you could do either or. Everybody's journey is different. So then we have the state colleges, which are the 2-year schools. We have the AS degree, which would mean that a student wants to go into the workforce. So nursing, air traffic controller, dental hygienist, but then you have your AA degree. So if your child decides, you know what, I'm going to do all of my prerequisites at a 2-year college and then transfer over, then what they're going to do is they're going to get their AA degree and transfer all of those credits to a 4-year school and then eventually earn their bachelor's degree. So then you've got your 4-year college where students will go in as a freshman and they can continue if they want to, either getting a master's degree or then after a doctorate degree if they would want to do that. And then the other option is the military, which the ASVAB test we do give at the high school. We make an announcement on, whoever would like to register to do that if they're interested in going into the military. And the military offers training, career skills, college funding through the GI Bill, the tuition assistance. So it's obviously, for students who want to serve their country and gain education and experience, and then for help with any post-secondary options, monetary help. Okay, so I know this is super, super tiny, but there is a copy of this on our website. This is the State University System Admissions Matrix, the SUS Matrix. And this is put out every single year by the Florida public universities. So private universities are not on here, so you're not going to see UM or Nova or anything like that. We're looking at public Florida schools. They put together this document and it changes every year. So it's very important to always look at the most updated. And these are basically their requirements. They're showing you the median GPA and test scores of students that were admitted the year before. So if you are looking at applying to FIU and you don't have that GPA, then you know what you're working with. Same goes for all of these schools. So it's a good guide to see what these schools require. And like I said before, it changes every year. So it's important to look at it. And we always post it on our website every year, the most updated version. Next slide. Okay, so like I mentioned before, Zello, it's a great platform. We just rolled it out most recently this year. I think the middle schools have been using it a little bit longer. But it's wonderful that if you have a middle schooler and they have created an account and they've started to use it, this is going to grow with them. So this is a great place to explore all of those post-secondary options. So whether it's you're exploring different schools, you're looking at their requirements or what the school is like and what type of majors the school is known for, or even directly to careers. So it's an interactive online platform for the exploration and for future planning. It's student-centered, it's easy to use, and it helps students with making their decisions. Think of it as a personal planning hub for everything related to colleges and careers. It helps them to take a personality test, and then it matches them up with careers that align with kind of how they've answered those questions, and gives them potential career matches based on how they've answered, based on their personality and their interests and what they like and what they're good at. It helps them to look at different careers and the kind of education that those careers require. It even shows them salary. There's even a feature where they can put together an entire simulated life plan based on the career. So if I say I want to be a pilot and I live in Pembroke Pines, it's going to tell me with this salary, you can afford this kind of house, you can afford this kind of car. This is so it's pretty cool for them to see what the different careers kind of afford them, and it's location based. So it's going to tell you, can you live off of this in Broward County? It also is a great plan for college. Like I said before, it allows you to research colleges and universities across the country, what majors they offer, what the admission requirements are. You can compare costs between these colleges, and it also will track your progress, and it provides a really good college application checklist. It helps you to build a resume. Oh, sorry. It helps to build a resume, and the requesting and sending transcripts, that we do not have that feature on Zello. We will be putting out information on how we're going to be doing that. It's mostly going to be through the school counselor. One thing that I did want to mention with the Common App is that your child's counselor has a counselor account. So once your child goes in to apply or create an account on the Common App, they will add their counselor. The counselor then receives a notification saying the student needs XYZ. That is where the counselor will upload their transcript. They're going to complete different things that are required of the counselor. So the earlier you do that, the earlier your counselor can get started on your Common App. So junior year, like I said, is a great time to start doing that. Now we can move on. All right, so Broward Focus. I know that a lot of you have already received this information, but we just wanted to reiterate that on Pines Focus, we do not have full academic records. This can be found on Broward Focus. You can do this, your child can do this. This is how you log on and you are able to see the full record, GPA, their credits, everything. And this is how you log on, and this is also available on our website with a step-by-step, just like this. All right, so here are some key terms that are good to know as we're going through the college application process. So FTIC would be a first time in college, and these are important when you're applying because perks are attached to these, whether it be with scholarships, so to be able to get some scholarship money, to kind of set you apart in the college application process. So that's why these key terms are important. So a first time in college basically refers to students who are enrolling in college for the first time after graduating high school. This includes students who may have taken dual enrollment classes. If they haven't enrolled in college full time yet, they're still considered FTIC. Even if you've taken college classes in high school, you're still considered a first time college student if you're applying right after graduation. So this would apply for a student who doesn't take like a gap year. Let's just say they graduated high school and immediately they went into their first year of college. That's a first time in college student. Then we have first generation. A first generation student is someone whose parent or guardian did not earn a bachelor's degree. Many colleges offer special support programs and scholarships for first gen students. Being a first gen is a point of pride, and it can open doors to extra resources and opportunities in college. The following apply to deadlines, to application deadlines. So early action would be applying early, usually by November, and receive a decision early, often by December. It's not binding. Students can still choose to accept to go to another school. Early action lets you apply and hear back sooner without having to commit right away. Early decision. This is an early deadline, but this option is binding. So unless your dream has been to go to FSU your entire life, your parents went to FSU, your grandparents are Knowles, and you absolutely know that this is where you want to go, do not do early decision because if you apply and they accept you, you must attend this school. So you have to be 100% sure. Rolling admission, this means that colleges review the applications as they come in rather than waiting for a deadline. Students usually hear back within a few weeks. It gives you the flexibility, but apply early because spots are limited, and it's also very important if a school is going to want to give you a merit-based scholarship. You want to make sure that you are applying early so that when you get your acceptance or even your denials, you see what you have to choose from, and then you can make your decision. Okay, so there's several ways of paying for college. We've got our Bright Futures, which is our standard Florida scholarship. And what that means is if you meet the requirements, you automatically get that money. So the application opens in October 1st. Students will complete the application in December with Ms. Perez. Ms. Perez has Bright Futures little workshops or meetings after school for several weeks to help students, or labs, she calls them labs, where she helps students apply to Bright Futures. It's a pretty involved application. So it is great that she has these labs to help students um, get into their account, create their account, actually apply, to make sure that that application is in. Even if, for example, I've seen it, I mean, I've been doing this for over 15 years. Like I said before, Bright Futures is one of those platforms that calculates the GPA differently, from the core. So it never matches what their GPA is. So if they're close, let's say they've got a 2.9, chances are that on Bright Futures, it could be a 3.0. So we always tell students, apply, just apply. You never know, apply, and they can calculate it a certain way to where it gives you what you need, and you can get the Bright Futures. Then we have the FAFSA. So this is a government application that opens December 1st. It's first come, first serve. You use your income, and they ask for your tax return and your W-2s, and so this is something that you would help your child with, because they're going to need your information. So what happens is your child creates the account, they put in their information, they put you as a contributor, and then you get an email with your steps on how to submit the information that they need. And then scholarships. So there's a ton of scholarships out there. There's a monthly bulletin that's put out by Ms. Perez. There's so many websites that have so many different scholarships that if you go through them and you happen to be interested in the medical field, and you are also a first generation college student and Latino, then you can apply to the scholarship. So a lot of times they're just very, very specific. So it's nice to go through them, read what the requirements are, and chances are you'll find some that match your situation. And not a lot of people are applying to those very specific ones. So it's a very good chance that if you apply, you write an essay or whatever it is that they require, that you can get that money. And then don't forget, merit-based scholarships given directly from the colleges it's a huge player in the paying for college game. It's something that I think a lot of parents and students forget. If you've done great in school, you have a great GPA, you've taken rigorous classes, you apply directly to a school. When they send you that acceptance packet, they could also say, we've accepted you to our school, congratulations, and we have also given you the Charles W. Williams, scholarship for the honors college, and 30 grand or 50 grand. So you never know, where you apply to could also decide to give you a merit-based scholarship based on your grade. That's why applying early is very important, because they only have so many of those merit-based scholarships available. And if you apply early and you meet the requirements and you've shown that academically you've done very well, you can very well receive a merit-based scholarship as well. Okay, so here is a list of the resources or activities, events that we have every year. So we have the College Application Lab, which is also something that Ms. Perez does. She invites students to sign up for weeks at a time after school from August to November. She has students coming into a lab, and she helps them with their college applications with the Common App. So your child will see emails from her on when this is going to take place, and they can come at any time to a computer lab, and she will walk them through the process and help them actually submitting and completing these applications. We have an IV college tour coming soon. We have our regular college tour to the Florida state schools that we've been doing for several years, and that's for juniors only. But now we are going to be adding an IV college tour that's going to be coming in November. We have the on-campus college visit. So that is where a college rep from particular schools come to our school and conduct a meeting to talk about their school, to talk about their requirements. And Ms. Perez puts out a calendar on when those schools are going to be visiting. Students can sign up to attend, and that happens from September through November. Like I said before, we do offer the ASVAB for anyone that's interested in taking this exam for the military. There's a FAFSA night that's going to be coming in December, and that is to help you complete that FAFSA application that is through the government for government assistance to pay for college. And then we have the Broward College Jumpstart field trip that helps students who are interested in attending BC. It helps them to get registered and get started on their college journey if they're going to be attending BC. So as we wrap up, we really do want to highlight that navigating this journey is a village. It takes so many of us. It takes you, obviously your child putting in their part, putting their best foot forward in the classroom, getting those amazing grades. So every student, every year or every cohort, let's say, has their own administrator, they have their own school counselor, and then they have the brace advisor. So the system that we have is when they come into the ninth grade, they get one administrator and one counselor that follows them all 4 years. And then obviously we have Miss Perez, who really is there all the time, but she really steps in going into junior year, senior year, to help everyone with the college application process or the post-secondary process, whatever that may look like for you and your child. And so here are some videos of students that wanted to share their experience with working with Ms. Perez. I am the presenter tonight, but I'm really a behind the scenes person, the person who really is on the front lines helping all of our students with the process for their post-secondary goals is Ms. Perez. And so here you will hear from some students that have worked with her.
Yes, Ms. Perez has helped me through everything in my college application journey. Everything from writing recommendation letters to all the questions that I had throughout the journey. It is an incredibly complex journey, especially for where I'm going, the United States Air Force Academy. I had to jump through a number of hurdles, including a congressional nomination that, of course, I wasn't familiar with how to get. So Ms. Perez helped me with that, and without her guidance, I don't know where I would be or if I would even have got in. So I am incredibly grateful to Ms. Perez.
Junior year can be extremely overwhelming with the college application process, but Ms. Perez gave me that feeling of comfort as she has a guiding hand when going through the journey. She has workshops to discuss FAFSA, the SAR, the SPARK, and the Common App, which overall is what you need to get into college. I originally got deferred, then rejected from UCF, and I was disappointed. I'm a well-rounded student, I do great academically, and I was confused. Ms. Perez ultimately told me that appealing would be a great option. Even though I was discouraged, I decided to go with it anyway, and about 3 days later from submitting my appeal, I got in. I was extremely thankful to Ms. Perez, and I went and I hugged her and I told her that I got in, and she truly is a helping hand. Thank you, Ms. Perez.
So now we are going to step into another Q&A session.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Those were wonderful videos. I remember when I had those students when they were in elementary school, and to see them all grown and going on their journey, it's fantastic. So Ms. Perez has been diligently in the background answering over 50 plus questions that parents have been asking. So I will revisit some of those, since some of them I think would be others would be interested in hearing. So one of them is pretty pressing, I would say. Do universities look at what the kids have done in middle school or only high school years?
It's really only high school. If they've taken high school level classes in middle school, then that is going to be part of their high school transcript. So if your child has taken Algebra 1 or geometry, biology in middle school, then that is going to be a part of their high school record, because those are high school level classes.
Perfect. Do colleges or universities uh, care or mind if you apply directly through their website or Common App? Is there a preference?
No, there's no preference other than if they are on the Common App and you want to keep everything in one place and it's easier for you and your child to manage, then you can do it that way. If they're not on the Common App and you have to go through their website. So if they're on a Common App and you just happen to apply on their website, they do not have a preference.
Okay. Going into test scores, are the highest, do the individuals pick their highest scores taken, or only the last test scores count towards their admission process?
So many schools are going to super score, and that means that they're going to take the highest scores from every time this test has been taken and put them together. So if your child takes the SAT 3 times, the first time they get a really, really high language arts score. The second time they get a higher math score. They're going to put those two together as the combined scores for admission.
Perfect. Um, are there any aptitude or career assessment tests that can help guide a child in choosing the right career path based on their strengths and interests?
Yes, so on Zello, there is an interest inventory type of assessment that a child can complete, and it will give them suggestions on what college or education or career path they can explore based on how they answered this aptitude test. So Zello is a great tool for that.
Can you define core GPA versus unweighted GPA?
So the unweighted is everything, every single class that they have taken, electives, core classes, so the English, math, everything. The core is just the core classes, which are categorized as English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language.
Perfect. Let's see. Some parents are asking, this came up a few times, is 10th grade too early to ask for letters of recommendation?
No, but you want to have enough material or content to put in your letter. So you want to be able to say, I have been the student government vice president for 3 years. I have been in this organization for 3 years or since middle school. So you want to give yourself time to give those letters more content and more time for your teachers to get to know you and to be able to write something that's meaningful.
Perfect. A lot of questions have come up about this being recorded this evening, and you're getting a lot of praise. So the families are very happy about this. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'll answer that one. This is being recorded. It will be on the pinescharter.net website. I can go to that real quickly. Do you mind if we kind of go out of this for just a moment, Ms. Perez? I'm sorry, Miss Moses, just so I can show everybody. So if you go to pinescharter.net, there's a few different ways that you can access the workshops, recordings. You can go here, Family Workshops. And then if you click here, you'll see all of our previous recordings that they are stored. The newest one will be included in the 24-25. The other way to get that, if I'm on the home page, is I can go to resources and over here, Jaguar Pointer Workshops, and it will land me directly into where those recordings are. So yes, this is being recorded. I know it is a lot of information and we appreciate you being here, taking it all in, but you can refer back to this. Give us a few days just to have that video rendered and uploaded to that website. Okay, I did not mean to steal your thunder. So let me go back for you here. Let me go slideshow. And I want to say, let me look real quickly. Miss Perez is answering. Graduation rate. Do we have an estimated graduation rate for, I'm sorry, graduation and acceptance rate for our charter high school?
So graduation rate, we're looking at a 99% for this year. We're waiting for a couple of students to get some requirements done. So it's very, very close to 100, but I'm going to say 99 because you can never be too sure. And acceptance, we don't accept, I mean, we're on a lottery, so if you're already in the system, then you're accepted.
Sure, sure. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for all of your questions and answers. Thank you, Miss Moses. Thank you, Miss Perez. Thank you, Miss Rodriguez, everybody that's been in the background diligently answering questions in the background.
And I just
This,
want to say, I just want to say,
nope,
in conclusion, I hope that this has been informative for you, but it's a lot of information. The process is very, very involved, and that's why we stress starting early. And we want to make sure that you understand and capture the point that you do not have to do this alone. And so while it is a lot of information and just depending on what your child's journey is and how many applications are going to have and how many colleges and what their goals are, you don't have to do this alone. And we are definitely here to help you, to help your child. Ms. Perez does an amazing job at helping our students. She knows them and their goals inside and out. She knows exactly where they want to go to school. She knows exactly where they get into school. And she really, really is a professional who cares, and the kids love her. So you're not going to have an issue with them not wanting to seek her out or them being scared to seek her out. She is very approachable, very welcoming, which is a huge deal. That is extremely important when you're dealing with young people who are going through and navigating a process that is scary and it's unknown. So you can be rest assured that this process, although it's cumbersome and it's a little wild at times, you have the right people in your corner and your child's corner. So thank you so much for being here tonight.
thank you, Miss Moses. Thank you, Miss Perez again. This has been wonderful. Parents are really saying some very thankful words in our Q&A. Yes, there were quite a few questions about hours. So eligible family members attending tonight who have attended the live session, that is key, attend the live session and complete the Google form for the attendance and feedback and provide that feedback will be credited with 3 service hours for each person. Remember, this applies for eligible family members only, and that is outlined in your service hours agreement in your first day packet that was signed at the start of the year. That is usually mom, dad, maternal and paternal grandmas and grandpas, as well as foster parents, legal guardians, and then anything else is left up to the discretion, excuse me, of your school administration. But attending this evening, using this Google link here, I also am going to initiate it in the in the chat. So if you wanted to copy and paste it, but we will post it right now in the chat that you can grab it from there. You can either type in this full link here, you can scan the QR code, or you can grab the link from the chat. This is something that you can grab in any three of these formats and complete that form. The form is available for everybody now. It is accepting responses. Our suggestion, since you're already on here, we're going to end just a hair early of 7 o'clock, which was our targeted time. Take those few moments to complete this and earn those 3 hours. The deadline for completing that form is tomorrow. I don't mean to rush anybody. It is simply because we want to get those hours into the service hour coordinators for your school, so this way they can enter those in as quickly as possible and have those credited into your family focus accounts, and they are showing up for your family hours for the year. Again, 3 hours per person. And we'll leave that up for just a second longer. And it's in the chat as well. And then we are going to go here and say thank you so much for attending this evening. You can always follow us at PPCS Oil on X. And if you have a question, you can always go to Innovative Learning at pinescharter.net. On that same pinescharter.net website, if you ever have anything that needs any kind of technical assistance, you can always log in and click Need Help, and that will take you to our help ticket where we can respond to your request. Again, we want to thank our presenters, Ms. Moses, Ms. Perez in the background there. Thank you. This was wonderful information. We want to also thank our additional panelists, Ms. Rodriguez, Ms. Lesmis, Ms. Roca, Mr. Jonathan Bonilla. We appreciate everybody being here, Commissioner Rodriguez as well for being here. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Commissioner?
No, I just wanted to thank staff for the incredible work that you guys do on not just this one, but every JPW. This is really impressive. It's the first one I've logged on to, and I can't wait to see a lot more of this. Thank you.
Fantastic. Anything you'd like to share, the other Miss Rodriguez or Mr. Bonilla?
Nope, just thank you so much for being here and have a wonderful night, families.
Perfect.
Thank you for participating. Thank you to all the presenters. Very, very well put together the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We didn't mean to put everybody on the spot, but we just want to acknowledge them being here this evening. Thank you. We know that you guys have lots going on, and we appreciate that you are taking your time to be here with us. We are always, always, always looking for continuous improvement. That is what we strive for here at the City of Pembroke Pines Charter Schools. And please fill out that attendance and feedback form, because that is how we get better for you and how we offer what you all are looking for. This course and this JPW came to fruition based on your feedback. So your voice matters. So thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. This ends tonight's series. Please join us again. Look out for our next one with Commissioner Rodriguez, Miss Veronica Lesmis, a lot of same people here tonight for the career JPW, the career path. We are just finalizing that last date. That's why I can't give it out. Hopefully by tomorrow we can get that last couple of things finalized, and then you will see those emails come out and it will be posted to the pinescharter.net website. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a fantastic evening. Good night.
Yeah.
You can go. I'm just stopping the recording.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.